that story right now for some breaking news.
Let's listen to the police chief about to speak on what's happening out in Ybor City. Once again, the officers gathering there where we're hearing a large police presence has been gathered. The chief himself, Mr. Dugan, is supposed to speak, and we're trying to listen to see what he has to say. I don't see him at the lectern just yet.
A tip came into Tampa police late today, we understand, and the chief is going to fill us in on what that tip is related to and why so many officers did respond to that McDonald's. Let's listen in.
Yeah, here he is.
At about 2:45 this afternoon, we received a tip from someone that there was someone who had a gun at the McDonald's here. They pointed it out to an officer who was here. We confronted the person who had the gun. We now have them. We are interviewing them to see what they can tell us about this gun that they have. I have very limited information. It's very early in the investigation. You know, just like many of the tips that we've received, if you recall, we've had over 5,000 tips, and these are the things that we have to go through and sift through this. So we have to be very careful what we release, because this person might be completely innocent, and that is the way we have been going about this. You know, I'm optimistic on this one, but only time will tell. We have a lot of work to do. We will be in the neighborhood tonight. It's very important that people still use caution, stay together when you're outside, and be careful out there. And it is still very early, and when we have more information, I will release it.
What makes you optimistic at this point, Chief?
Well, it's just the way the way things are progressing. Things are starting to fall in place. We've had that before, and unfortunately it's led into nothing. So we'll see. I'm guarded because I've been down this road before. You know, it's day 51 that we've been doing this. It is 2 weeks since Ronald Felton was murdered. So, you know, it's been a long time for the families and for the cops, and so I'm guarded on the whole thing, but I'm very optimistic, and we'll see. It's going to be a long night.
Chief, was the first in terms of Seminole Heights connection? Are you optimistic in terms of a Seminole Heights killer connection? I want to be clear.
Well, I'm sorry.
Are you optimistic that there's a connection between this arrest and the Seminole Heights killer?
As far as whether I'm optimistic, whether this has to do with Seminole Heights, yes, I believe this has to do with Seminole Heights.
Chief, the man we saw in the back of the patrol unit, detectives talking to him in the back, is that the person that you're speaking to?
I'm not sure about who you saw, but we have the person down at headquarters, and we're talking to them now. They are not under arrest. They are not in custody.
How quickly will you be able to tell if this is in some way linked to the other murders that we've had in Seminole Heights, and how will you determine that? In other words, do you look at the gun and the type of bullets and that type of information?
Well, there's a lot to go through, a lot to sift through, and it's gonna take many things to fall in line. It's gonna require different search warrants and interviews and things like that. So it's gonna be a very slow process, and you know, we treat everything like it's gonna be the real deal. And you know, you have to remember, it takes slow because we want to prosecute whoever this person is, and that's why it has taken us so long to sift through over 5,000 tips. You have to keep in mind that when you catch whoever is doing this, we want to be able to prosecute them and lock them up and bring them to justice.
But just in terms of your own timeline on when you'll have a pretty good idea for yourself on if this is actually connected or not, are you thinking hours, days, weeks?
I really try to avoid that because we've been down this road before and it's led into dead ends.
Does this make you hopeful, though, because we have not heard you say the word optimistic, quite frankly, in a long time?
You know, I'm hopeful, but like I said, I'm guarded. I've been disappointed before. So,
You recovered a gun?
What's that?
You recovered a gun?
We have a gun. We don't know if it's our gun.
Was it on the custody of the person or in the vehicle?
We got a tip that the gun was there, and we recovered the firearm. We're still sifting through all those details.
Chief, was this person bringing in the gun in a black bag and telling people that he was going to go to the airport?
I don't know that. I don't have that information. There's all kinds of information going on right now, and we're sifting through what is real and what isn't real.
Can you go into any greater detail on what the actual tip was?
There was someone with a gun, and we followed, you know, We have recovered other firearms before, so we'll see. And we'll see what type of answers this person has for us.
And what was this person doing at the restaurant?
You're listening to Chief Brian Dugan from the Tampa Police Department briefing the media on a very active scene at a McDonald's in Ybor City where police received a tip that a person was there with a gun. That person is now downtown at police headquarters being questioned about the gun, about what they were doing. He has made sort of a staggering announcement that this, he feels confident, could be connected to the Seminole Heights killings.
Now,
He's guarded.
Optimistic, but guarded, because we've had so many of these. I can't believe he said 5,000 tips and coming. These tips continue to come in, and when you get one, you take them seriously. So when you think that it's been 51 days, 2 weeks since the last murder, and here we are at a McDonald's looking at a vehicle where someone's called in a tip about a person with a gun. Police presence everywhere, because we've seen how the response has been not only locally, but I mean, we have the state of Florida, we have troopers running up and down Seminole Heights. I think everybody hopes that this next tip will lead to the conclusion, the resolution to find the person who actually did these crimes, killing 4 people in a span of about 4 weeks or so in Seminole Heights.